We have more names, more celebrities at the freak off parties. Who are they? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Do you notice anything different? I moved the desk back. I don't know what it is, y'all. It's like my OCD or something. I've been moving my room around like crazy. This time I got more, like a lot of more space. Now, if you was at the beginning of my channel, I showed my room many times. Sorry, I'm trying to fix my lighting. I showed my room many times. I showed me when I first added the desk, it was all on this wall where it's at now. I'm just diagonal with the camera. But this is more, it's just so pretty. It's so pretty. I had to make sure the monitor didn't hit my my floating shelves because I can't move those. I don't want to move the location of this desk at all, okay? So I just put the bed diagonal and I got my clothing rack. You can see a little bit of my closet, and I have my kitchen, my little kitchen area in my room because I'm at home. I was gonna turn on my light back there because I think it'd be looking nice. But y'all. Sorry, y'all, I was trying to be nosy real quick. Let me get back into it. It's currently a storm where I'm at. I'm in Arkansas, by the way. It is a big old storm happening right now. And I went on YouTube while I was looking at the news. I was like, what is this? All I see is Beyonce, Jay-Z, LeBron, freak off. Whoa. I was like, what is this? I had to get back into the mess anyway, y'all, because I have not been catching up on the Diddy stuff. I know his trial is supposed to be coming up, but why do I feel like I got a feeling they're going to have to push that back? It's more stuff coming out. Now, if y'all know me, so I said in some of the cases that I'm not a Beyonce fan. I don't care if you are. I'm talking about not even music-wise. I'm talking about just in general, I'm not. Even though in music, I like her old music. I prefer the old music more than the new music. But I always thought there was something off about it. And I don't care if y'all hate me for that. You can get off of here. I'm not dealing with no little beehive. Is that what they got? Beehive? I'm not dealing with that, okay? I knew what it's called. I was just being petty. I'm not dealing with the fans. I'm not dealing with none of that. We're just talking about the freak-offs. Why are they named? Now, this is actually not the first time their name has been in this. Some, like, other victims have said it. So that's how I was like, I already know Jay-Z stuff is true. Y'all ain't telling me nothing. They paid off that last girl. That's why she dropped the charges. Also, all this stuff I've been with the Ali Carter. Y'all, if y'all watch the stories, oh my God. Their names have been in this. And him, Jay-Z, he all over this. It's like he was named with R. Kelly. He was named with Diddy. He was named, and also taking pictures. He's been all up in this. It's so much more to it. That's what's scary. But why is LeBron? But you know what? I'm not surprised about LeBron either. Y'all know the iconic meme when he was like, ain't no party like a Diddy party. Hopefully he was just talking about a regular party. But I don't know. Y'all know these people suck up. No pun intended. These people suck up to the bigger people. Even though he like 6'9", 6'8", 6'7", whatever. It's a great height, okay? Great height, oh my God. LeBron, fine, okay? I'm gonna just say it. Anyways, I'm not saying he did none of that. I'm just saying a lot of people in the industry will lower their standards and themselves to make it to the top. To attend these parties, they did a lot of stuff, y'all. Now, I'm just waiting for the Kardashians to be named, because if anybody needs to be named, I'm 100% sure all of them will be named. Those girls don't care. They would do whatever they can and do whatever they have to do to stay in the limelight. This is messy, y'all. I'm like, y'all some nasty individuals. Diddy he a nasty person in general, you know, after all this stuff. He has to get time, bro. Like, he has to get something, a year or something. He has to do time. I know he in there now, but they don't count. But y'all, I'm gonna stop talking, and we just gonna get right into it.
LeBron James, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Gloria Estefan. Those are some of the names that appear in an explosive new lawsuit filed by a Florida man against Sean Combs, claiming he was a victim of sex trafficking and kidnapping at the hands of the music mogul. So why are these celebrities mentioned? What are the allegations? And most importantly, does any of this hold water? Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
Yeah, I'm trying to position the...
You know how when we talk about Sean Combs and all of his legal troubles, there's always this oh, which are the big names? Which are the big celebrities that are involved in all of this, all of his alleged sexual misconduct? Well, I'll tell you what, according to a brand new lawsuit, several. There is an explosive new lawsuit that I'm going to break down for you, filed by a man named Joseph Manzaro in Florida. And this is actually in Florida federal court. So he is actually identifying himself in this lawsuit. He's not using a pseudonym. And he claims that he is a survivor of human trafficking and sexual exploitation, and more specifically, as outlined in the complaint, quote, plaintiff was drugged, transported against his will, and sexually maimed as a victim of a coercive and organized criminal enterprise beginning in 2015, orchestrated and facilitated by the defendants. The pattern of threats, concealment, manipulation, and psychological coercion persisted for years, extending the statute of limitations under federal tolling doctrines. Now, here is the kicker, quote, high-profile individuals, including Jacob Arabo, Jay-Z, Gloria Estefan, LeBron James, and Beyonce Knowles Carter, are identified as witnesses due to their presence or knowledge of the events surrounding the freak-off orchestrated by defendant Diddy. Wow. And freak-off, of course, is something that we've heard many times before, both in Combs' criminal case and other civil cases, to describe these prolonged sexual episodes, usually with sex workers. But Manzaro is suing Sean Combs. He is suing a man named Eric Mejias. He is suing Brendan Paul, who's been described in another lawsuit as Sean Combs' drug mule, Emilio Estefan, who is married to pop superstar Gloria Estefan, and Adria English, who filed her own lawsuit against Sean Combs, claiming she too was a victim of sex trafficking. By the way, it's interesting he's not suing these other celebrities that I mentioned, like Jay-Z and Beyonce and Gloria Estefan, possibly because he doesn't believe their alleged liability amounted to a civil claim, but seems to want to call them as witnesses at a trial, although I have to imagine they will do everything in their power to quash any subpoena should this case progress, and we'll talk a little bit more about whether or not it will. But we want to get into the complaint.
Okay, hold on real quick. First of all, yo, I keep messing with this light, and I swear it go up, and I just have to, I'm going to figure it out. Don't worry, because it's annoying me. I was like, why is it getting brighter? But yeah, let me talk about this real quick. It could be because they seen, maybe he didn't sue Jay-Z now because they seen and they've been watching what happened with the last girl. That girl, I'm telling y'all, they pay her off because she had all that to say and then she just dropped it. When that happens, they pay people off. We all know that. They know they are some type of people to, like, you know, get in the lawsuit. They got the money to, like, hide anything. But it's like, I think with a lot of these celebrities that's named, they were most likely just around or just like looking. I don't know. I hope they was just there, but that's not my business. Y'all do what y'all do at these parties, but this is what happens. This is where they go wrong. The problem is, it's like, it's not that, you know, you guys want to have orgy parties. Do what you do. It's not illegal. It's gross, but it's not illegal. You might catch some stuff, but it's not illegal. Use all the baby oil you want. It's not illegal until drugs are involved. You're drugging people, Diddy. That's who we're talking about. And because other celebrities have said they've been drugged and they like felt different afterward. It's like you're drugging people, and when that happens, and then you're hooking up with people, that turns into, you know, rape. That's when we're going to the next level of, okay, this is a crime. It's not a crime to have freak-off parties. It's a crime. It should be a crime to name it that, you know, because I would be like, oh my God, I don't know what's going to go on here. I'm not going to that party. But it's a crime when you start doing illegal stuff. Drugs, hooking up with people who are passed out. That is rape. Mind you, if you don't know, then you need to be in jail. When you have other people who know that it's illegal and involved into it, that's when all this becomes a crime. And that whole thing that he did was a crime. Now, the people who were there, I've been seeing a lot of stuff. I think I said it too, that they all need to be arrested because they seen it. Yeah, true. They all should get like some community service or something. I'm not going to say they deserve life in prison, but it's like, there were a lot of underage girls there, so you have the whole sexual assault thing. You have CP at that point. The problem is with this is that it's been so long, and now they bring in statute of limitations, which I really did not know they had that here. I didn't know they had that here because they still solve cold cases. For example, in Korea, their statute of limitations, after so long and nothing happened, if they're not arrested again, they're like let go. They're out and about, walking the street, like their record is gone. Here, you're still on record, but I feel like I don't think the statute of limitations, if they're not gonna like wipe it clean, these parties that Diddy did in like the 90s and stuff, and you know, all the the cases that he got coming up from the 90s, the women that are coming back from then, just like the Cosby thing, coming back from that far back, if they're not gonna I feel like they need to, if they're not gonna wipe it clean, they want to investigate it, they should take off statute of limitations, if that makes sense. Just because I feel like it's messing up my head thinking about this, y'all. That's why I'm having a hard time saying it. Because statute of limitations mean after so long, they can't pursue it, right? I would think that's what it is, because that's what it is in another country. But they have that here, but they still go after it, which I'm all for. Like, that's why I don't think we don't need it. I don't think anybody need that. That sounded really weird, but I hope somebody got it, okay? I just feel like we don't need that here. When you do a crime, if it comes back, you need to go to jail. And that's what they do here. Y'all, they are solving older cases all the time and sending old people to prison. So why is it not the same when assault is into play? Maybe because it's murder? Is that because the other cases are murder? That this is not murder, that they don't pursue it? Because those girls they be young at the time, but now since they're older, everybody be like, why did they wait so long? But I'm like, they were scared. They were like human trafficked. Like, it's a lot that went on back then. You couldn't just talk. Like, it was different. So, and then even now, people who get trafficked, it's like, it's not easy to like just tell somebody. But I feel like they should I really feel like they should take that off, because it hurts the victim. I'm like, people feel like they can't say anything because it's been so long. But these celebrities, y'all, my voice is just so hoarse today. It's going back and forth. I don't know. But yeah, the celebrities, they were there. A lot of them were there. And we don't know what they did. Only Diddy and his people and everybody who was there know. But I do agree that sue the drug mule, sue all the people who were involved. I'm still on the security guards, y'all. Sue them all because they were there. They got him in and out of places. They brought girls to him. They're a big part of this. I don't know how they're not named. Anyway, that was a lot.
And we want to read this. So it reads, quote, on or about April 2015 at approximately 5:30 p.m., very specific time there, plaintiff arrived at his residence located at 424 Valley Forge Road, West Palm Beach, Florida. As plaintiff unlocked his door and turned the handle, he felt a greasy substance resembling Vaseline on his hand. Plaintiff attempted to wash his hands, but lost consciousness before he could do so. Okay, now first off, that is eerie.
Okay, he about to say eerie, but also what the hell is that? Because, you know what, let me see. They ain't going, I'm curious. They not going to like look up, like, you know, they be like suspicious activity if you look that up. Hold on, I'm curious about what that is. What drug is in Vaseline form? Ooh. Dang, huh. In Vaseline form? Is that what that? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Okay, I don't know. Maybe somebody made it. I hope. Let me clear my history. But I swear that won't do anything. They still will look your stuff up. But this is, you know how I know that's true, y'all? This is not the first time we heard about that. Somebody else said that in another video. Another victim said that he was putting some on them and they felt uneasy and they passed out. What is he doing with these people while they're passed out? Why do you got to do something with these people while they're passed out? That's so disgusting, y'all. Sorry, let me stop pausing it.
Purely consistent with other accounts that Combs allegedly spiked lubricants of unsuspecting victims. I'll tell you though, I still don't quite understand the connection between Manzaro and Combs. That is not, in my reading of this complaint, actually illustrated like in any way. I don't think that's been clarified in any way, why he would be targeted or allegedly targeted. Also, I have to say, kind of interesting in this alleged kidnapping plot, that this is the way that you would potentially kidnap somebody. You basically douse this door handle in a spiked lubricant in
like
the
a
hopes
freaking
that it
spy
would
movie.
knock somebody out. But moving on, he claims that he passes out, he wakes up, and then he's in the backseat of a car. And he claims that this car is driven by Mr. Mejias, and there's another person in there, a Bonnie Rivera. And he claims before passing out once more, he hears Rivera telling Mejias, he's waking up, cuz, what should I do? Do you want me to knock him out? To which defendant Mejias allegedly responded, "No, don't touch him. Don't worry. Just give it a minute. He'll fall back asleep again. I gave him a lot of that scopolamine," which is apparently an anti-nausea medication. Now from there, Manzaro claims that he woke up at Mejia's place in Deerfield Beach, which is about 30 miles away, and he claims that is where he was held against his will. He claims he witnessed the man identified as Omar Bravo deliver cocaine and meth to Mejias, and Brendan Paul was there, quote, appearing nervous and sat with a motorcycle helmet in his lap. Again, very specific details. And he claims the drugs were placed in Paul's backpack, who then remarked how Combs wanted Manzaro brought to a freak-off event. Now, this is where all the celebrities come in. So Manzaro claims that he was taken to One Star Island Drive in Miami, Florida, and that Mejias informed security there that they were attending an event at the Estefan Mansion and mentioned it was Christian's birthday party that night. Now, in this complaint, it's not clarified, as far as I could tell, who Christian is, but it seems to be, possibly, this was Christian Combs, Combs' son. And by the way, a quick search online seems to indicate that Christian's birthday is in fact April 1st, which by the way is interesting that this lawsuit was filed 10 years to the day, yesterday, April 1st, on Christian's birthday. By the way, I just have to say something.
Real quick before he says something, by the way, and this is all alleged, mind you, but I wouldn't be surprised because y'all know, let's talk now, y'all know, we had, we watched, well, I saw the news that day when his whole house got raided, and then when his sons were also handcuffed, because that one son that they showed, there was charges filed against him for rape as well, and assault of a prostitute that Diddy got him. I'm talking about, y'all, this stuff is really coming together, allegedly, but, yeah, he was charged with that. I don't know what happened with that. It's like, I guess his daddy got him out. I'm talking about this whole family. I don't even know what's going on. We're on the drug part. That's all I know. That
lack of detail and explanation is concerning in a complaint like this. For a complaint, you really need an aspect of specificity and particularity. I'm going to get to that a little bit later, but just keep that in mind. Now, Manzaro claims that the security logs at the entrance of Star Island would reflect this entry, so something that he hopes to get during the course of discovery. Now, from there, the complaint reads, plaintiff was dragged through the back entrance of the Estefan Mansion at approximately 12:30 a.m. Not sure how he knows that time if he was in this drugged state, but he continues, inside, Gloria Estefan panicked upon seeing plaintiff's deteriorating state, demanding, call an ambulance. However, defendant Emilio quickly silenced her and ushered her away into the crowd. At that moment, plaintiff briefly saw LeBron James, who was wearing a white bath towel, brown shower shoes, and carrying a shaving bag, walking through the hallway. LeBron James looked at plaintiff and in response to Gloria Estefan's plan for an ambulance remarked, "Y'all better do something about that." Quote, plaintiff was then led by defendant Adria, who identified herself as Diddy's personal sexual assistant, and through a concealed tunnel that connected the Estefan mansion to defendant Diddy's mansion, plaintiff was secretly transferred to defendant's Diddy mansion. So that's going to become a question.
Hold on. I laugh because it do sound very elaborate, but what's crazy is that a lot of that stuff do sound true. Mine is the LeBron and the towel thing. I don't know the man, but I would hope, you weren't there taking a shower for some reason. I don't think I really believe that part, but that's, y'all, I don't know this man. I don't know none of these people. All this stuff can literally be true. It's just alleged. This is a story, but I feel like every time, and I like Jesse, okay, but I don't know why I got mad when he was talking about the time, because for some reason, I'm like, y'all, all these lawyers always talking about they want specific times, but when somebody give a specific time, they're like, okay, how do you know it at that specific time since it was so long ago? Do you want details or not? Basically, that's what I'm saying. Do you want details or not? Because they act like they don't when people give it, but at the same time, it's very elaborate, okay?
If in fact their mansions are close enough for this to even happen, and whether they're...
Also, we have heard about the tunnels. I 100% believe those tunnels. If that's true, that's some really creepy cult-like stuff. These people, I'm telling you, they have no lives. Like, this doesn't mean you have a life. Like, go get a life. That's crazy if you got time to do that stuff. Like, that's actually insane.
is evidence of this underground tunnel, or this tunnel of some sort. Quote, upon regaining partial consciousness, the plaintiff found himself inside a large party area upon information and belief that it was Diddy's son's birthday party. Jay-Z and Beyonce Knowles Carter were seated in the room, and upon seeing plaintiff, Beyonce Knowles Carter asked, "What's this? What's this all about? Why is this half-naked white man with a blank mask standing here in front of me?" Defendant Eric responded, "Diddy wants him to see what we do to snitches. This is part of his punishment." Plaintiff was forcefully paraded through multiple rooms filled with people who were jeering and taunting him. Defendant Diddy explicitly ordered plaintiff's degradation, stating, "He's going to find out what we do to snitches tonight. Get him undressed." So from there, Manzaro claims he was stripped, put in a shower, forcibly washed by two women while Mejias and Rivera watched, and then was outfitted in a thong, a black leather mask with a lock over his mouth, and then, quote, subjected to degrading and non-consensual acts at the direction of defendants Diddy and Adria. Plaintiff was sexually assaulted and forced to partake in unwanted sexual activity. And then he claims he passed out. Now, from there, he claims he woke up, found himself locked in a dark side room. Adria English and Mejias come in. They dress him, take him off the property, and then enters Jacob Arabo, also known as Jacob the Jeweler. You probably know who he is. Quote, while still semi-conscious, plaintiff encountered Jacob Arabo, who was visibly disturbed upon seeing plaintiff in his forced attire. He asked, "What's this? What's going on with this guy? Why is he standing here staring at me with a penis strapped to his face?" Defendant Eric responded, "Oh, he's just some guy who's a snitch. We're teaching him a little lesson." Defendant Emilio intervened, instructing Defendant Eric and Bonnie Rivera to move the plaintiff out of Jacob Arabo's sight. Gloria Estefan again pleaded for an ambulance to be called, but Defendant Emilio silenced her and shoved her into the crowd. Upon leaving the event, plaintiff overheard Defendant Diddy ask Defendant Eric, "You're going to be getting rid of him, right?" To which Defendant Eric responded, "Yeah, I'll be taking care of that." Following this described freak-off event, Manzaro claims he was taken back to that house where he claims he was originally kept. He was savagely beaten and then left for dead inside of his own apartment. When a gang member later inquired about how plaintiff was kept unconscious, Defendant Eric responded, "Xylazine, trank." Now, again, I have to say, I struggle with the question of how.
I don't even know what to say. It's so detailed. It's y'all, it's a lot. Allegedly. It is. I can see why you would think that's not true, to be honest. I can see 100% why. Like, that's a lot of detail to remember. And it's crazy because I just said, don't you want detail? But that's a lot of detail. Word from word. Okay. If this is true, it would make sense with all the how people be thinking celebrities are like evil cult people who the devils and want to harm people for no reason, and what happened to snitches. Now that would make sense, you know, if this is true. That makes sense then. But I don't know. It's just so elaborate. You know, I'm gonna save it to the end. I'm almost done with this video.
How he knew that this was allegedly said? Did he overhear it?
Yeah,
okay,
that's the
a possibility,
thing too.
But could he, through these alleged beatings and druggings? And that's going to be, I imagine, a difficulty for him in pursuing this case. Now, Manzaro claims as a result of all of this, he suffered physical injuries, internal trauma, groin damage, sexual maiming, hernias, and he claims he can prove this through documented evaluations from a urologist and a surgeon. But then Manzaro alleges that Eric Mejias would continue to harass and intimidate him in the years following this attack, including issuing death threats and threats to kidnap Manzaro's son. And Manzaro believes that this was all to keep him quiet. And he even claims that surveillance footage and police reports confirm attempts by Mejias to approach Manzaro's property. And this is where things take another turn. And this is for all you true crime enthusiasts out there. Why? Because Manzaro claims, additionally, a hitman named Sigfredo Garcia, who's now serving a life sentence in an unrelated murder, was in plaintiff's alleyway. a police report was filed corroborating this encounter seen as an associate of defendant Eric was captured on security cameras outside plaintiff's residence, further evidence of a coordinated campaign of intimidation. Do you all remember who Sigfredo Garcia is? He was the man convicted and sentenced to life in prison for the 2014 assassination of FSU law professor Dan Markel, a case that has its own twists and turns and that had several trials we covered on the Law and Crime Trial Network. So here's a question for you, okay? Why wait all these years to file a lawsuit, right? That becomes a big question in all of the lawsuits that Sean Combs faces, because his argument would be, this is all a money grab. This is people coming out of the woodwork. They're jumping on the bandwagon.
Perverts always say
Quote,
that.
Defendant Adria actively obstructed plaintiff's ability to seek justice by tampering with evidence, interfering with legal proceedings, and conspiring to conceal the crimes committed against plaintiff. Defendant's acts of coercion, obstruction, threat, and ongoing intimidation persisted until at least 2021, demonstrating a clear pattern of misconduct that effectively told the applicable statutes of limitation under federal and state law, meaning the claims aren't time-barred anymore because he couldn't bring these claims earlier. Quote, plaintiff has now compiled the necessary evidentiary foundation to proceed with this legal action, including verified medical records, sworn witness statements, and corroborating documentation directly implicating the defendants in his abduction, drugging, sexual exploitation, and abuse. Okay, so he claims he has the goods. But before I get into the claims in this case, all the causes of action that Manzaro is alleging, I just want to say this real quickly. This is a very, very weird, wild narrative. Is it fantastical? Is it so out there that it can't possibly be true? Or is it so out there, how could you make it up? This has to be true. I mean, we don't know what the answer is, but what is interesting is that this complaint is specific in certain parts, it's vague in other parts. It is a bit strange the way in which the statement of facts are laid out. Can it be backed up by the evidence Manzaro claims to have? Maybe. And remember, attorneys are strictly prohibited from filing lawsuits that are just meant to harass somebody or to seek a financial settlement. That's not the goal. So it seems by all accounts, Manzaro and his legal counsel believe they have the goods and the evidence to sufficiently plead these claims and to move forward with a case. So yes, there are certain aspects of this complaint that are a bit strange, but
that also mean that they're probably going to bring up evidence. Now, let's talk about this real quick. This is going to be kind of a long video. I don't care. Y'all, okay. This is so just like jaw-dropping, all of this stuff, real or not. But he said he has evidence, y'all. If there's like real evidence of like the medical stuff, like, you know, the permanent damage he has to all of this, he was abducted. And now, if that you said you saw it, they had that man who was serving a life sentence on camera on his property. You have people, there's evidence, police filed footage of him getting abducted, him like about to get abducted. There's evidence with that, so I believe that part. I really believe about, to be honest, all of this, because a lot of this stuff sounds true, what's pertaining to all the stuff people have been saying about Diddy, and all the party stuff. But they was at the other man's house too. I think the celeb part is like really vague up in here. It's just hard, you know, with the people. If you see them, I wouldn't be surprised because rich people party weird. But the question with what Jesse asked, why wait so long? Look, that's the question they ask every victim when they are assaulted. Why did you wait so long? Because you're afraid. If that's true, allegedly what they did to him, I would see why he waited. Especially if he's constantly getting harassed and threats, allegedly. I would see 100% why he waited. And then you see why people come out now, because they see he's put away. More people are coming out with stories. That's why he talked. But yeah, this is interesting.
They believe they have the goods to assert all this. So let me go back into the claims here, okay? There are 15 causes of action that are being filed. First, we have human trafficking under both federal and Florida state law against Sean Combs. Namely, that Combs, quote, knowingly recruited, transported, harbored, and obtained plaintiff through an organized and coercive criminal enterprise utilizing subordinates and co-conspirators to facilitate plaintiff's trafficking for the purpose of sexual exploitation. That this includes Combs allegedly directing and orchestrating Manzaro's abduction, him getting drugged, transported, kept at this private residence, all against his will, and then subjected him to non-consensual sex acts. And what makes this commercial for purposes, let's say, of sex trafficking, quote, plaintiff was subjected to non-consensual and degrading acts in a commercial setting where influential individuals, including celebrities and high-profile guests, were present as participants and witnesses. Defendant profited from and facilitated a network of trafficked individuals forced into sexual exploitation at his events, creating an environment where victims were rendered powerless through drugs, violence, and coercion. The second cause of action is human trafficking, but this one is against Eric Mejias for his alleged role in drugging, transporting, and harboring Manzaro for purposes of sexual exploitation. Third, human trafficking against Brendan Paul, namely that he was allegedly an active participant in luring Manzaro into an environment where he would be drugged, transported, and sexually exploited. Fourth, human trafficking against Emilio Estefan. So how's he on the hook? Well, the complaint reads, defendant was a key enabler of plaintiff's trafficking, using his influence, resources, and industry connections to facilitate and conceal the human trafficking enterprise led by defendant Diddy. Defendant knowingly allowed, facilitated, and provided locations for the trafficking of plaintiff where he was subjected to non-consensual sexual acts, forced servitude, and humiliation. Defendant provided security personnel, financial backing, and logistical support to ensure that trafficking victims had no means of escape and remained under the control of the trafficking network. Victims, plural. That's interesting. Fifth, human trafficking violations against Adria English, alleging defendant was a key recruiter and enforcer responsible for luring vulnerable individuals, plural, including plaintiff, into environments where they were exploited for sexual purposes. Six, we have kidnapping under federal and state law against Eric Mejias, namely that he illegally seized, confined, restrained Manzaro against his will, deprived him of liberty, that he used physical force, threats, and coercion to do so, and transported Manzaro across state lines or across the state, which is an element of the federal claim. Count 7, obstruction of justice, witness tampering against Sean Combs. The allegation being, quote, defendant individually and in concert with others engaged in a deliberate and sustained campaign of intimidation, threats, and coercion aimed at preventing plaintiff from testifying truthfully and providing evidence against him and concealment to suppress plaintiff's ability to testify or report crimes. And also, the alleged use of the word snitch to describe Manzaro is key to support that claim. Count 8, same claim of obstruction of justice, witness tampering against Mejias this time, goes back to those allegations of death threats, kidnapping his son, allegedly trying to come on Manzaro's property, all as a way to apparently keep him silent. 9, obstruction of justice, witness tampering against Brendan Paul. Now, this one's interesting because he claims that Paul engaged in a campaign of intimidation and threats and interfered with Manzaro's ability to get medical treatment, and that he, quote, facilitated the intimidation of witnesses and suppressing evidence. Now, I would say, and by the way, this goes to all of the causes of action, you will see immediately motions to dismiss under Rule 12b-6 being filed, which essentially says that if you look at everything that's alleged in this complaint, you take all the facts as true, they don't state viable legal claims for which the law provides a remedy. That here for obstruction or sex trafficking or kidnapping, that what's being alleged doesn't match the elements of those claims. That is classic in any litigation. And I just point that out because, again, the lack of specificity and a clear narrative or explanation at times could be an issue, particularly how Brendan Paul.
And real quick, this is why a lot of victims don't come forward. That's exactly why, because of stuff like this, because of their laws that, you know, they be like, okay, what about the evidence that they have? What evidence do they have, okay? With all this stuff, you have to go by word of mouth. You have to go, these people are, now look, y'all, I know this is alleged and some of this stuff do sound crazy, but realistically, some of this stuff sound like a lot of stuff that other people are saying. You have to think about, what are they drugging them with? He hearing drug names now, that's crazy, because I'm like, now you can hear that. I'm like, okay, you can hear. You hear a lot of stuff before you pass out. I don't know how you remember it, but people remember traumatizing things. I think they need to remember that before they're so quick to say that somebody didn't do something. I know this is alleged. I'm just saying that's annoying because a lot of people who have been assaulted remember a lot, surprisingly. And I'm like, you got him, he got evidence, and if they come up with the evidence, there you go. But a lot of this stuff with the freak-off parties literally goes by word of mouth, y'all. Yeah, they are going by Diddy's mouth, and don't want to be by that mouth. Used up. Anyways, they're going by what he's saying at the parties. Well, other people are saying that nothing happened because they're most likely in it, and then they're going into hiding, taking off their in their Instagrams and their Twitters. Y'all, that stuff had been happening. Y'all know Usher, that whole thing. He went cold. A lot of people went cold off the internet. You wouldn't hear nothing when names were coming out because they know what happened. It's only so much they know. Y'all know some of this stuff happened because you got the videos with Cassie. She told a lot of this stuff. Other victims are saying it online because they won't listen. This is actually crazy when you really think about it. It's like, I know this is alleged. I'm gonna say this again, but it is annoying because you have people like him, and I love Jesse. Okay, he's a really good person, and I know this is their job as lawyers. But it's like, y'all can't keep saying, okay, it has to go with this, which I know it do, but at the same time, you only have so much to compare it to. You only can go by word of mouth with this at the freaking party. You weren't there, were you? Nobody was there but the people and the nasty people. I just don't know, because this is why it's hard for victims to really tell the truth and to like talk about it, because it's like, it's so much law that goes into it. Realistically, and sorry y'all, I didn't even get to laugh, but realistically, you got the video of him attacking Cassie. They have the baby oil. They have video footage of, it's like a video of them hooking up, whatever going on. You have more than one victim, y'all. Oh my God. More than one victim telling things of the same story who don't know each other. If you really put the pieces together just like that, you gotta shut it down case. But nope. You know, lawyers, they have to make stuff so difficult. But it's like, you shouldn't even need all this to put this man away. They have enough evidence. They have enough victims and witnesses. They are making it harder than it is. That's just what I think, but I could be wrong, I guess.
Paul engaged in all of this obstruction? I mean, was that properly laid out in the statement of facts? Maybe, maybe not. 10, we have obstruction, witness tampering against Emilio Estefan, leveling the same allegations like Brendan Paul. 11, obstruction, witness tampering against Adria English, leveling the same allegations like Paul and Estefan. 12, we have racketeering against all the defendants under federal and state law. So this is about a criminal enterprise, one earning a profit or reaping the proceeds or the benefits from a pattern of criminal activity. And so here, the allegation is the defendants engaged in racketeering activity, really obstruction, threats, bribery, blackmail, surveillance, to keep Manzaro quiet. 13, intentional infliction of emotional distress against all the defendants for them allegedly engaging in extreme and outrageous conduct with the intent to cause Manzaro severe emotional distress, exert dominance, instill fear. 14, punitive damages, which is interesting because it's usually not listed as a standalone claim, a standalone cause of action. It's more a result of a successful claim. These are monetary damages meant to punish a defendant, or as Manzaro describes here, intentional, malicious, and egregious conduct. And then finally, 15, a cause of action for injunctive relief. Again, usually you see this more as a remedy than listed as a claim or cause of action. And it's asking the court to order the defendants to stop their allegedly unlawful conduct, namely stop the alleged intimidation, obstruction, and retaliatory conduct. And throughout these causes of action, Manzaro has listed out the harm that he claims he suffered that deserves a remedy. Severe and ongoing physical injuries, profound psychological trauma, irreparable emotional distress, economic damages, including loss of professional opportunities. He's looking for compensatory damages to restore him to whole, punitive damages, treble or triple damages, permanent injunction, costs for attorney's fees, and so forth. Okay, but before we go, I gotta finish up with some responses from these celebrities, right? Okay, so this is per reporting from TMZ. Jay-Z's attorney, Alex Spiro, who actually recently successfully got a sexual assault lawsuit against him dismissed.
Okay, y'all, I'm going to say this last time, I swear. I'm not going to say it no more. Y'all know I will. The hair is not for him. It don't fit him. Am I the only one who think that? And why is this? Okay, you got the Louis Vuitton beanie on, but it don't fit. It's the hair. You know, to be honest, the only celebrity that can pull that off is The Weeknd. And my sister still mad he cut his. But yeah, no. What is that? Where's the real? You know, I like men with a lot of beard. I don't know. It make men look so manly when they got a full beard. I don't know. That's just me. Maybe that's, I don't know. What is that? What is that? He should cut it. But then I hate it. You know, I don't like him.
said Mr. Carter wasn't in Florida at that time to witness this incident. He was engaged in easily findable public activities that prove he was not at this event. This is more nonsense that erodes the trust in our justice system. LeBron James spokesperson told TMZ, quote, "This is demonstrably false and doesn't even merit a report or response. A basic internet search shows what LeBron was doing all of April 2015. He was playing basketball for the Cleveland Cavaliers and never in Miami." Gloria and Emilio Estefan's representative saying, Gloria and Emilio Estefan strongly deny the allegations made. The property in question was never a home where Gloria and Emilio resided, but it was rather a house they owned for family use. There were no parties thrown at that property between 2012 and 2019. We have all necessary documentation to support these facts and will provide it to the court. Actually, Brendan Paul's attorney, Brian Bieber, told TMZ, "Is this an April Fool's Day joke? If someone seriously filed this lawsuit, the allegations against Brendan are 100% false and literally impossible to have occurred. Brendan was still in high school in Ohio at the time, having never even set foot in West Palm Beach in his life." So look, I raised some of those concerning issues that I see in this account. If these responses are true, that could be a problem. In the same way that the Jay-Z lawsuit was dismissed potentially because of problems in the account, that's a fair argument. I wonder if the same thing will be true here, but it's...
Yo, this was a long one. Real quick, let's go to the comments below. That was a great video. Okay, somebody said Beyonce and Jay-Z have an entire team of lawyers on speed dial. 100% they do, y'all. They're not playing. These are billionaires. They're not playing. They know how to get rid of stuff. If it's true, they know what they're doing. And this is why you don't worship celebrities, ladies and gentlemen. 100% true. Don't worship these creeps, y'all. Well, not all, but not everybody creeps. Like, I'm not going to tell y'all who my favorite celebrity is, even though you probably know I love Lana Del Rey. Anyways, ain't no party like a Diddy party, yo. We all know where that came from. He wasn't doing these by himself. Obviously, many celebrities went to these parties. What does that say? That part, while coat of them mother effers. Exactly. See, people, I'm telling y'all, people, everybody believed this. This was so crazy. Names, finally names. Okay, what somebody say? That's a weird couple of names. There has to be more. 100% there's more, y'all. People are not talking. Wow. When do we get to find out if this fiction or real? When is this trial, for freak's sake? No, for real. This trial is going to get pushed back many times, y'all. Not Miami Pound Machine. What? Okay. I find it disgusting that this man's honesty is being questioned in this video, and even asking why did he wait till now to complain. Seriously, does anyone doubt he was terrified to do so? Naturally, with Diddy behind bars, people are starting to come forward, and that's what I said, y'all. I'm telling y'all. People said, do your research. This man's honesty is being questioned because the people he claims to have seen were we're not there, nowhere near this guy, Diddy or the places. Okay, they say they're lying. Somebody said, come on. Okay, y'all back and forth. I'm telling y'all, it's so much to this. This man has 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Why would I doubt it? No, for real. Seriously, y'all, the baby oil said it all. That was disgusting. The fact that that was really real, like, that didn't even, I thought it was a meme somebody put together, but no, that was real. Lock them all up, he a monster. Yeah, the tunnels. Somebody mentioned the tunnels. Let me take that off. Okay. Yeah. This is a lot. I basically said everything I needed to say. This is a long video. But all of these allegations, it do sound viable to all the stuff that has been said so far. I think the only thing I questioned is like the whole thing about the LeBron and the towel at the Gloria Estefan's mansion. I feel like it's weird, but you know, to be honest, it might not be, y'all. We don't know what these people do. Why would he be there? We don't know. Like, how old was he at this time? When was this? I don't know. Like, I wouldn't put it past none of these creeps, y'all. And I'm not calling him a creep. I'm talking about like Diddy them. They're the creeps. Rich people do weird stuff. We know this. They do weird stuff. With the whole thing with the tunnels, y'all, we have heard that many times. We have heard that from people who are victims of human trafficking, allegedly. And even the whole Ally Carter thing, she said that, and I 100% believe her. And she named a lot of people. And if y'all have not seen that video, I think it's still on TikTok somewhere, y'all. It's a scary video, because I was just sitting up one night watching it when all this was going down. I'm like, oh my God. And I was like, have anybody heard from her? Why is her name not in here? Because that girl has been talking for a while about it, and nobody mentions her. which that girl is traumatized. And that's why I believe that part. Yeah, this is a lot. This is a mess. This story was a lot, but at the same time, it really do sound like it would happen. All this stuff that we have heard so far also sound crazy, y'all. But the evidence we got from victims, or from the victims themselves, like the Cassie, the videos, other people who said they have like coming forward, all of it is coming together and is matching. I don't like to be that person that doubts somebody's story, but we have to say allegedly, you know, because you don't know. But people realistically are getting paid off, y'all. They're getting paid off. That girl with Jay-Z getting paid off. What did Beyonce and Jay-Z have to do with this? They're all friends with Diddy. This disgusting shitball. They're all friends with him. And Jay-Z, y'all not telling me nothing. I don't like that man. He's all over these cases. He's over. Somebody put it together on TikTok, and I guess they did their research. Y'all, he's all over it. He was all over R. Kelly thing. He was over other people. Y'all, that man is a businessman. That's why we never seen him tell the truth. And I'm gonna let y'all go after this. This is the most, and somebody said this too, this is the most we ever seen Beyonce and Jay-Z. We ain't never seen these people that much. That's why I don't care that much about them. I'm like, we don't never see y'all. We see them 24/7 now. He ain't never in the limelight. Now he's in the limelight because he's getting mentioned. But we never seen him. I swear, y'all. I know they have families, you know, their daughter's going to see the stuff. And it is crazy because they mentioned that, you know, that their daughter seeing all this stuff on the news. But it wouldn't be on the news if y'all didn't have something to do with it. That's all I'm going to say. This is crazy. What are your thoughts about this? This was a long video. This is a headache. I was so excited I'm very excited I got to watch this because the thoughts in my head that I'm like trying to piece together about these celebrities. And Diddy. He is so disgusting. I cannot wait for this trial. But they got to lie that, right? They got to put that lie, but they're not. They're going to keep it low. I want to be like a juror on there. I want to be a juror on there. He has to go to jail, right? I just saw they said he won something that I guess somebody else, like another case got dropped. I'm like, God damn it. We cannot be dropping cases on this man. Please, he has to go away. This is crazy. And on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at IamTatianaGreen. I have not said that in so long, but follow me. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. I think the way in the room is throwing me off. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.